My name's Francis Smythe, Chairman of the Board of the B&O Railroad Museum, and I've been happy to serve on this board with a few others that I see in the audience, Greg Pinkard, for 30 plus years. We've been through quite a lot here at the museum. Many years ago, you all might remember the roof collapsed, and then we rebuilt. We've had some changes in staffing, and then we rebuilt. And we are bigger and better than ever now. So I'm very proud of what we've done here and are doing at the museum, and glad to have you all here be a part of it. John, I got a little joke for you. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Chooch.
Choo.
Choo-choo, yeah. Welcome to the B&O. Let's go. Welcome to the Railroad Museum. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Board of Directors, welcome and thank you for joining us for this historic occasion. We're honored to have with us here today elected officials, community leaders, donors, members, volunteers, partners, and friends. I'm going to acknowledge a couple of them. My stand-up partner here, Councilman John Bullock, Secretary Chaudhry and his staff are here, Jasmine and Dan, Lindsay Jackson, Director of Arts, representing Mayor Scott's administration. Thank you, Lindsay. Paxton from the Senior Also Brooks office. Mayor, and I'm told now, not now, but I'm told refer to him as President Kirk Smoke, past Mayor Kirk Smoke. Where are you, sir? Thank you for being here. Dr. Curtinitis, for President of CCBC. And then I want to add to the list Willie Moore. He's the president of Southway Builders, who is doing our project. Willie's way over there on the, he's helping us with our $40 million project that will open in the latter part of this year, November timeframe, December timeframe. Also want to recognize board members in attendance, John Magnus, Jane Schaub, Greg Pinkard, Alana Strohecker, Joe Davis, and former board members Sue Hare, Vern Harstock, and Alan McCrum. We'll bring you all up to the podium afterwards to take pictures as we get moving. Thank you for believing in this remarkable institution. Every great institution has its origin story, and ours begins here in Baltimore. Nearly 200 years ago, and I have to think maybe more than 200 years ago, groups got together and started thinking of how they can compete with the folks from New York who were building the Erie Canal. And it was exactly 200 years ago on February 28, 1827, that they chartered the nation's first common carrier railroad, the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad Company. That was to basically compete with the strategy of the canals being built all over the country to move product from the west, raw products from the west to the east, and the finished products from the east to the west. It was a bold decision, it was an innovative decision, and it changed America forever. The rest, as they say, is history. Today we stand on the very ground where that history began. This is what makes this place unlike any other railroad museum in America. This is not simply a museum that displays history, this is where history happened. As members of the board, we are stewards of that history, and our responsibility is to preserve these buildings, these collections, and this extraordinary place for future generations. But stewardship also means ensuring that great institutions continue to serve future generations. Over the past several years, we have watched this museum evolve. Its audience has grown, its reach has expanded, and its national significance has become even more evident. As the board reflected on that transformation, one question guided our discussions. Does our public identity reflect the institution that we have become? We concluded that it should. Let me also say something that's very important. Nothing about today's announcement changes our commitment to the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad. Quite the opposite. The B&O will always remain at the heart of this institution. Its story began here, its legacy will always be preserved here, and today's announcement is not about leaving our history behind, rather it's about ensuring that more people discover and experience it. I want to thank my fellow board members, our staff, our volunteers, members, donors, partners for the care and effort, commitment, and dedication to this museum. And I especially want to thank Chris Holland and her executive team. Chris and her team have helped lead one of the most significant transformations in this institution's history. And today, Chris will share the vision for its next chapter. Please join me in welcoming our Executive Director, Chris Holland, to the stage.
Great. Well, thank you, Francis, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this momentous and historic day. Before I begin, I would like to recognize the extraordinary people who have made this day possible. To our board of directors, thank you for your vision, your trust, and your courage to embrace change while remaining steadfast in preserving our history. To our dedicated staff, thank you for your creativity, your professionalism, your unwavering commitment to this institution. A moment like today doesn't happen overnight. It is the result of countless, and I mean countless hours of planning, collaboration, and hard work. To our volunteers, members, donors, partners, and supporters, thank you. Your belief in this institution has brought us all to this moment, and this next chapter belongs to all of us. Today, I'd like to talk about where that story has led us and where it will take us next. Sometimes people think the railroad is a thing of the past, and nothing could be further from the truth. Today, American railroads move over $2 billion a day of economic commerce in this country, and they move over 28 million people annually. And it all started here. One of the great privileges I have of leading this institution is I discover something new almost every day. Sometimes it's presidential history, women's history, African American history, military history, and on and on. Again and again, we discover that the railroad isn't simply part of American history, it runs through nearly every chapter. Railroads built America, socially, culturally, and economically. The railroad wasn't simply a mode of transportation. It was the internet of its time in terms of the transformative power it had on changing American life. That realization has shaped our mission. We are not simply preserving these extraordinary locomotives and historic buildings. We are telling the story of America through the lens of the railroad. And that story is still being written. So over the past 8 years, this institution has transformed greatly. Together, we have launched the largest capital campaign in our history. We are restoring the historic B&O South Car Works building, the oldest continuously operating railroad repair facility in the country. We are opening one of the nation's most significant railroad archives for the very first time to the public in its history. We are creating new educational spaces, and we are building an innovation hall, a first of its kind in the nation that will focus on the present and future of railroading technologies. All of these will open in January 2027. These projects are not separate from our mission. They are our mission, because railroad innovation didn't stop in the 19th century, and neither do we. As we approach the 200th anniversary of American railroading in 2027, that date should be seared in everyone's mind, we asked ourselves one simple question: does our name fully reflect who we have become? After thoughtful reflection, extensive research, and input from people like you, our volunteers, our members, our donors, our partners, we realized our name should describe not only where we came from, but the mission we have today. The answer became clear. And the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad will always be at the heart of this mission and this institution. We are not a museum that houses historic artifacts. We are a historic site that became a museum. The distinction is important because it means that we have a duty to always preserve these grounds, these buildings, the collection, to interpret them, So the B&O will never be left behind. It is the foundation from which the national railroad industry story continues to unfold. And because our mission has grown, our name must grow with it. Our new brand is built on 3 pillars: the past, honoring the birthplace of American railroading and preserving one of America's greatest stories; the present, celebrating an industry that continues to connect our communities, strengthen our economy, and move our nation every day; and the possible, inspiring future generations to imagine, innovate, and build what comes next. Because after all, the railroad was one of America's greatest innovations. Innovation has always been part of the story from the very beginning. And these 3 pillars will guide every story we tell, every experience we create, partnership we build, generations we inspire. And because while this place tells the story of where American railroading began, its greatest purpose is perhaps helping inspire where it goes next. And that is why today matters, and we're so excited that you're here with us. We are changing our name to reflect who we have become. And so, without further ado, it is my honor to introduce you to the National Museum of Railroad History and Innovation. Thank you. And I want to call Frances Smythe up to offer a toast to this historic name, this new day in our new chapter.
Your glass is here, Chris.
Thank you.
Okay. Everybody got their logoed glass? Now, if everyone would please raise their glass. Here's to the visionaries who dared to imagine the nation's first railroad. To generations who preserved this extraordinary place, to those who are writing the next chapter today, and to all who will be inspired by the stories that begin here, please join me in congratulating the National Museum of Railroad History and Innovation. Cheers, everybody. It came down. We didn't know if that would work. Great.
Thank you so much. We wanted to do this with all of our friends. So thank you very much, and welcome to
Now,
our
would you like to get some
new
pictures?
chapter. Yes, and so thank you for coming, and please enjoy.
Okay, who would you like to have up? Were you going to move this?
Yes, the board, some of our elected officials and folks.
I did wear the right color.
You did.